That's scary. You know, the more I think about this on a daily basis, the more frightened it gets.
Yeah.
But we must keep up the faith, pray, and work, believing that better days are ahead for us as Nigerians and in Nigeria. It's your show this morning dedicated to improving the family. It's called Today with John and Helen, and I'm always, always delighted, you know, to be a part of the show. And today we take another shot at advancing the peace and the prosperity of the family. I'm Helen Omaodele. Like I said, thank you for tuning in.
Helen, go back. You're Helen.
I'm Helen Omaodele.
Well, today we are defining family values and vision. I'd like to welcome you to the program. I am John Senaya.
Yes. And it's a pleasure to be on the show with you
Yeah,
this morning,
yes,
John
Helen.
Senaya.
Yes, Helen.
Okay, so as usual, we invite you to join in the conversation. So don't go anywhere. We will take a quick break and then return shortly. Our guest is already seated. It's Today with John and Helen on Plus TV Africa. Thank you for joining us today.
And so we are back. Thanks for being there. Like joke.
Yes, sir, as
right?
they say.
The year is moving so fast, but not so much is happening. What's happening? You know, our expectations, dreams, targets, and what have you. How well? How far? Helen?
Are you asking
What's
me?
up? What's happening?
John, what can I say? While many have lamented that it's never been so bad in this country, some are smiling to the bank. So new businesses being birthed here and there.
Yeah.
So like they say, different strokes,
Different folks.
for different folks. But come what may, our prayer is that the family is strengthened no matter what happened, and the family keeps going, moving forward, But the fortunes of failure, well, we don't know. We can't say for sure what's happening, but we're optimistic that things will definitely get better.
Well, what I know is that today we focus on fundamentals of a prosperous family.
Sure.
And we are breaking it down. Family values and vision, what are they, and how critical are they? We shall kick off the conversation with the first guest, our first guest on the program, and then bring you some messages, and thereafter take you to the Keep Fit Corner. And Ferawo Tomo, the lifestyle host, will round it off with a conversation with her guest.
Okay, so now that we have our agenda all set, let's welcome our first guest today on the show. She has quite an impressive CV. She's been one of our guests before, and we thoroughly enjoyed, her area of expertise that she brought on board. And so she's referred to as a listener. She walked into the studio and John said, here comes the listener. Yeah. She's an advocate of the subconscious paradigm, always seeing the cup half full. That's like me, a hybrid motivator with an uncommon ability to stir up positive energy towards mental and emotional self-discovery. She's the creator of the Agbajo War.
I was waiting for that. Agbajo
War series. Our guest believes that all hands must at all times be on deck in raising children to be happy, healthy, successful, and functional adults of the society. Abimbola Shomolu is our guest on the show this morning. She's founder and director, Bimbo Family Affairs Support Center. She's a lawyer, she's an educator, she's a writer, she's a family life advocate, and a counselor, and a lot more. Thank you, Abimbola, for accepting to come on the show again. It's been a while. How have you been?
I've been very well, thank you.
Okay.
That's very obvious. She's been very well, and you've been very well too.
Thank you, John.
So, Abimbola, thanks for finding time to be with us again today. Let me jump right in, because these are difficult times for many families, particularly in Nigeria. And you see, we want to unravel, some of the issues that have been facing our families. So you do us a favor, you just shred all the questions that we're going to ask you within the time. Helen.
I take the first question.
You take the first shot.
Okay. And do remember that at the end of the show, perhaps we have lost or missed out on something critical, very important. Don't forget to, let us have them.
Okay.
All right. So my first question. We do remember that at your last visit to this program, you stressed the importance, mark my word, stressed the importance of family ties. Now, could you please remind us today, for the benefit of those who probably didn't catch what it was last time that you were on the show, what are the tenets for a successful family?
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Good morning,
morning.
To our viewers. And John and Helen, it's so good to be here. Like you said, a year ago has passed. I mean, no matter how much we look at what is happening, we're here. And that's what really matters, the now. So thank you very much for this opportunity. Yes, if I can go back to what I spoke about there. The family institution is the most important institution. From there comes a lot of things. The society is built from the family. And in life, we're going to go through challenges. Life will happen to all of us. But the most important thing is the people we surround ourselves with, the support system in the home, because that's the first government of our life,
Yes.
basically. And once we have that, what I would call the tenets, the governing principles,
Yeah.
the code of conduct, all those things, that what will help us,
The pillars.
the pillars in the home, to the community, then to the society. So the family ties, the family relationship, the family communication, connectivity is what gives us, emboldens us to face life and to go out there and do what we are supposed to do. So if that foundation isn't there, the father goes this way, the mother goes this way, the children goes this way. So nothing holds us together.
So it becomes the things fall apart where
And
the
the
center
center cannot
cannot hold. Yes.
So that is the main core.
And that's very deep. That's very deep. You know, thinking about what you just said now, you look at families that are breaking up, and you just sense, you know, a bit of disconnection.
Yes.
You know, and well, we'll talk about it a little more as we move on. I know that so much has also been said about culture. You know, we've heard about social culture, business culture, and now we're looking at family culture. Now, when we look at family culture, values and vision,
Yes.
values and vision, what are we talking about?
Okay. Now, I said the family is the first government.
Yes.
And if you look at all organizations, even your organization, most organizations have a vision, a mission, and core values. And if we're saying a family is a government, then we must go there. Right now, the family is under attack. There's no question about it, all over the world, not just in Nigeria. And because of that, there's a lot of child abuse, molestation, neglect, violence in the home between parents, teenage rebellion, emotional, financial stress, and so many things.
The walls are all falling down.
They're falling down. So in doing that, in knowing this, we have to start talking about it like we're doing now.
Yes.
And doing something about it. And that's what we're doing now, to educate people and to say, look, it's everywhere. If it's not me, it's my neighbor, it's my cousin, it's something. Okay? So what do we do about it? The first thing is we go back to the drawing board. I use the African ideology and the Western psychology. And what is that? It takes a whole village. We have to train. Because we're parents doesn't mean we have the roadmap to how our children will turn out. Let's just talk about parenting. So what do? We go back to the drawing board. Why are we as a couple, why are we together? What do I have? What does my husband have? Okay. How do we
balance it?
Balance it.
Yes.
Once we know the why, then we know how to go about the how. Okay?
Yeah.
So once I know why, he knows why, we come together, we'll balance it, then we are building on that when the children start coming. So if there's nothing, because most of us just fall in love or fall out of love, and there's nothing to hold us together.
Yes.
So that's why I'm so passionate about the family, because when it's not me and you, it's a whole, then you're more flexible. But when it's me and you, I focus, I get angry with you, get angry with me, so there's nothing holding us together. So the family vision, why? Why are we together?
Why are we together?
What are we entering into? What are we talking? How are we talking about finances, charity, education, knowledge? Do you understand? The extended family. Once we have them, then the values. What are the 5 main values that hold us together? That anywhere in the world, wherever we go, like I say, I'm Nigerian by birth, African by origin, was global citizen. So those values take me to everywhere I go. It takes my husband, my children to everywhere we go.
Please
So
keep
that's
those
what.
5 values hidden somewhere for now.
No, okay.
We will tap onto them later on.
Okay.
Yeah. Hearing you talk, I'm asking myself, there's need to set these values and vision right from the start. Whose responsibility is it?
Now, that's where we get it wrong most times. Okay, because there's a fire on the mountain now, and the best time to change anything is now. Okay, so the people go into the marriages now, whether it's counselors in the church and everything, or people that actually have gone through. I'm going to be 25 years this year. So at least I have a bit of knowledge as per some things before you enter it. So we need to start to itemize and educate people that there'll be times there won't be money, there'll be times there will be sickness, there'll be times the children will be rebellious. How do we cope with that? What part of the world do we want to live in? So it's the responsibility of the couple to know what and when and what. And it's the responsibility of the parents also. If they don't have answers, get people involved to let them think beyond where they are and look ahead, because the road is going to be bumpy.
Yeah.
It is going to be bumpy, but we get lost in the, all the glamour and everything. And the society has really changed on all of us.
Yeah.
So it's about the wedding, what we'll do and everything, not talking about the nitty-gritty of what the journey is. It is a journey. It's going to be bumpy. There'll be disloyalty. There won't be money at times. There'll be loss of job, health issues. These are real life issues.
Yeah.
So the earlier we start to identify that, and for those of us that have entered it, we're evolving. Okay. From a particular age to a particular you change.
I was talking about the signposts that will constantly have to change.
Yes.
Based on the circumstances of the time.
Yes, so we evolve, we change. I'm changing, I've changed, I'm changing, my husband is changing. So we have to identify all those things. And we have to go back to those people, the elders, the people who have done it right, the role models, that even their life is not perfect, but they're real and say this, that. But now we're westernized. We keep things to ourselves. We don't want to engage people.
I think at this point, I'm going to ask the listener to listen to me.
Okay, please. I will listen to you.
Now, aren't we making it look so academic? Like
ABCD.
Step 1, 1, 2, you must have these values, you must have this vision that you follow. When we make it so rigid and academic, aren't we going to lose out on the fluidity that comes with family,
With love.
Easy things, taking things not too serious all of the time. Aren't we going to lose out there?
No.
Because it's like, hey, every morning daddy now comes and says, have you brushed your teeth? Number 1, number 2, have you done? Isn't it too strict on families?
It's not strict on family. When there's fire on the mountain, what do you do?
But I don't see the fire.
Oh, you don't see the fire?
Yes.
Well, I see the fire. I talk to people that are in the fire.
Yes.
I feel the fire. Everywhere, with the children, with the husband, with the wife,
fire.
it's just, there's fire.
Yes.
So if they said the only constant is change, in the past 1 year, our world has changed. So what makes you think family dynamics will not change? So if we want to be real to ourselves, we're not saying these are the rules and the regulations. We're just saying be aware, be knowledgeable. Just equip yourself with knowledge and get information that will help you through the journey. When I was growing up, my parents didn't go into a parenting school. They didn't read books on parenting. They learned on the job. But right now, we can't just learn on the job. We have to equip ourselves with so many things around us. So it's not rules and regulations. Those that want the nitty-gritty can get it. But those that actually want to flow will also have to be knowledgeable, because in the flow, there'll be chaos, there'll be turns, there'll be ups and there'll be downs. So why do people in the Western world do the prenup? Why do they do that? There's a reason. Maybe probably have to start doing that in Africa, because many people have been taken for granted. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is that it's not stricto sensu, this is it, this is it. We're discussing it and we're making it seem like that. But depending on your character, your nature, you will need how. I never had a what's it called?
A script.
But I'm learning, I'm reading, I'm acquiring knowledge for myself to be the right example before I go out to the world. So things happen every day. You change, you're knowledgeable.
Yeah, but you see, everyday dynamics, everyday life, especially if you live in cosmopolitan city and
Yes,
environment.
yes.
Father heads east, mother heads west to work, and no time to put all of this together. It will be a little challenging,
It won't.
on
Why?
families.
It won't. Let me tell you why. Once you're intentional about something, it will work. Technology has helped us. In my home, there's a particular day and a particular time
Yes.
where all of us all over the world connect. See, and somebody has to, like I said the other time, has to make more of a sacrifice because everybody's busy. My children are busy, my husband is busy, I'm busy, but I'm not busy for my family because you need to pass generational things to your family so that they can pass it on. Do you understand me? Look at the Jews. They have a tradition. So if we don't imbibe a tradition where the children can even take a notch higher, then there's a problem. So I would find that time because it's important to me. So whatever is important to you, you will find time for it.
Yeah.
So for me as a Bimbola, it's so important because I want to see the growth in my home, my family, my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. I want to be around and see how they've put a scale higher from where I am.
Yeah.
So it is important to me.
It is. It
Okay,
is.
and at this point, it brings me to a word that I murdered at the beginning of this show.
Which is?
The series that...
Agbajowo.
Agbajowo. Tell us a little bit about it.
Now, Agbajowo, like I said, I'm very prone to the
How
African
do we
culture.
key into it?
Agbajowo.
It takes the whole village. You cannot,
The
they say you
coming
cannot...
together of hands.
Of hands. Do you understand? You cannot thumb your chest with
Helen.
one. You know how we Africans say, me, you can't do it one. It doesn't make sense. It's
Yeah.
Like the broom
all
thing.
of us.
Together, collective.
Together, like the broom thing, the collectivity. And that is why I always tell people that when people are getting to marriage, the marriage institution, the husband and the wife have to be accountable to somebody. Now, if they are not accountable to somebody, that's a red flag. If you can't talk to the man, nobody to talk to, there's a red flag. Now, the woman, there's a red flag. There has to be somebody that you can go. Now, like I say, I always go to the spirituality.
Someone who can tell you, stop it there.
Yeah, stop it there. So like when Jesus was going, what did he say? He said he's going to send the Holy Spirit. So that's somebody that can help somebody. So what I'm trying, as human beings, there has to be somebody, even if you're not a parent or you don't have your biological children, there's somebody, there are people that can be accountable to you. So it's not just marriage or my biological children or whatever. It can even be somebody that you hold in a high esteem.
Yes.
So Agbajowo means collectivity. It takes the whole village, but it has to be the right village people. Do you understand? Wow. Okay, so...
But you see, you give me a sense of that building values and a vision for the family is a continuous thing. You have to always...
tweak it.
Tweak as you go along till you get to the end.
Not necessarily. Your values are your values. They must not change.
So the values, okay, your values are your values.
Oh, no. I mean,
okay, it's the dynamics surrounding the values that you...
Yes. And, in a home, the values remain the same for everybody.
But that would be management.
Well, you see, you're looking at it as black and white.
Management, enforcement.
Management, yes.
They're looking at it as black and white.
Yes.
But when you live by norm, there's some organizations in this country where you will know that they're from this organization.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
That's value, the core of that organization. And if they can't do it, then we can do it. So there has to be discipline. There has to be somebody that is engaging. There has to be accountability.
Yeah.
Now, let me give you an example. Let's use my home. In the Shomolu home, maybe the vision is to be the best version of ourselves in whatever we do. And And how do we do that? So the values that we need to do. So the values have to come from people. I can say this
So
is
therefore different families set their
Oh,
own
they
different
set,
agenda,
yes.
okay?
So my own is, our vision is to be the best version of ourselves in whatever we do. So what are our values? Love. Because if you love yourself, you love others. And you'll be able to help others. Do you understand? Accountability is one of the values. Do you understand? Honesty is one of the values. Do you understand me? Integrity, be true to thyself. Do you understand? Your word is your bond is one of the values. Let me ask, maybe consistency or knowledge seeking is part of our values. That we have to continue to read, to acquire knowledge and seek knowledge.
Yes.
So in that, those are our guiding principles on our vision. Because those guiding principles are the ones, that are the mission that take us to where we're going. So that's it.
And they are not just word in abstract. So when you have them in place, then the things that you require at every point to be able to touch and attain these values, you know, it's the responsibility of everybody to ensure that this person, you know, is moving in that direction.
Yes.
And this is moving, and there's someone and people around to help each other to ensure that we all get there.
So sincerity is very important.
So I can proudly say that, I'm the chief operating officer in my family if I'm able to coordinate and manage all of these things very well.
Probably yes, but the interesting thing is that you might start as a chief operating officer, but as you're grooming, as they're saying, because you know we do a lot of talking, but we don't do a lot of acting. So children,
I was going there. I was actually going there. So
do you understand?
What is the role if I am the proud chief operating officer?
Yes.
Right. Where do the children come in?
Okay.
What kind of roles can be given out to them?
So organization, your government, your family is the government. John's family is the government of his, you know. So you are let me call you the CEO, okay?
Proudly so too.
Yes, as the head of the home. You know, we give that to you, okay? And your wife is the managing director. Okay, she manages it. It's. You see, we cannot always, you know, men and women, we need each other. There's no two ways about it. There's no authority or whatever. We coexist, so we need each other. We feel in for each other. So she's the one that is in the house, going to work and everything, sees everything. You go there to hunt and find something for us in the house.
And when roles swap?
It does swap. It does swap. Then you have you communicate. That's another problem in most homes. There's no communication. So roles change, but when you communicate, so you shift. Everybody balances it and says, this is how we're going to do. Do you understand it? Then the children, once they have that atmosphere of this is it, they fall in line. They do fall in line because you say what you do. Do you understand? They fall in line. So it's a process. It's a journey. It's like a pregnancy. You have 9 months. So for your children, you have, let me say, maximum 13, 14 years to actually, the first, 0 to 12 is parenting. There's no compromise, authoritarian, not diplomacy. Now, when they're 13 to 19, then you can be diplomatic. Do you understand it? And you know, democracy. But from 20 upwards, you know, so you have a time frame. If people can know they have a time frame to be parents to their children, then they won't take things for granted and faff around with things. Do you understand me? So that's the
Which is why children, when they're children, we say, allow them, they're children.
No, they're not
this
children.
Is the only time.
No. And they are the members of the
cabinet.
Yes, they are members. So they are accountable to you.
Yes.
And guess what? You are accountable to them.
To them.
You are accountable to them, because that's why I said the role can change. So maybe in 25 years down the line, the last born might be the one that is, because you have to know each child, the qualities they have. So because of age doesn't mean the child is mature enough, because it's the firstborn, because we put a lot of emphasis on the firstborn, the first son, the this, the that. No. What each one of them has is going to be a core in your home. So somebody there, maybe the girl, the last girl, might be the one that is managing the affairs, that calls everybody, are you okay? Is everybody okay? Sincerity. Let's be honest. Oh, I have to tell mom, I'm sorry, I just have to tell her, so that we can get involved. So everybody plays their part. Everybody is important in the family.
Interesting. Interesting. Do you know that we're getting more than we bargained for this
we
month?
learn so much.
I'm learning so much.
Yes.
Well,
You know, so what we'll do now,
yes.
Take a break.
we'll take a break.
Okay.
Right? So we can have a little
Tea or coffee.
tea or coffee. And then we'll be back.
Yes.
So thanks for staying with us. When we started the program, the studio, I was complaining that the studio was too cold for me.
Now it's too hot. For
Do you know what?
You're on the hot seat.
Our guest today, the listener, Bimbola, or is it Bimbo?
Abimbola.
Abimbola Shomolu, the listener, has broken down all those walls that we had surrounding the myths behind values and family vision. And I want to thank you so much for the great job you've been doing, Abimbola.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, now, we're going to make it a little hotter, right?
Are you sure?
We want you to tell us now.
She'll turn up the heat on you.
I don't care.
done on
I don't care.
He's ready.
I don't care. Because I want you to tell us, how often does one need to review family vision and values, if at all?
Okay. Well, you know, earlier on you said it seems like a chore, like something that is like I don't know how to put it, but honestly, that's not what it is. Okay, it's yes, you have to be intentional, but in reviewing, I would go back to how the dynamics of the family is. A particular family, and what we're doing here is one family at a time, really. Yeah. So it's not just one size fits all. It can't work like that. It won't work. Culture, environment, society. Yeah. So the most important thing, like I said, is the things that you do around your family that you want to start to do. Like the finances, like I said, the recreation, the time for
That you spend
you
together.
spend together, the family meetings. Okay, those are very important. Most of us, let me tell you what, when we're growing up, the family meeting time was during Christmas. Okay? So even though you were making it sound as if this is like a structured thing, no. The family meeting time is actually Christmas, where we all go together. You see the way your children behave or cook, or the husband, you see pressure and things like that. So when you do go on your vacation, or when the parents had the what's it called? Time out, vacation, or take leave from work, and the children come, maybe spring break, summer break, or Christmas break, which is more ideal, okay? Where we can all talk about issues, what has been affecting us. So, because many of our children they go to school, boarding house and everything, we don't even know what is going on in their lives.
Yeah.
They don't even know what is going on in our lives. So we have to be able to be vulnerable towards our children so that they can be vulnerable towards us. We have to let them know that there's a lot going on in my office right now, or your mother and I, it's tough right now between us, finances and everything. And not too much information, but information is key. Because this children, this generation of the children we have, they seek information. They want to hear what you have. You can't say we're moving to Canada next week. Why?
Yeah.
What of my friends? So you need to explain. I'll give you an example. Okay? I watched something recently. A 9-year-old boy was on the dining table with his parents. And they were speaking to him, and the mom was trying to give him a clue that something is happening soon, this and that and that. And the boy said, what? And he said, well, you're going to be a big brother. And he said, oh, really? This and that. But he didn't really get it. What does that mean? Oh, he said, we're going to have, he said, we. That means there's connectivity in that home. We're going to have a baby? Oh, mommy. He stood up and hugged his mom, right? And said, thank you, mom. So what have you done? You've communicated to the boy. You've included him. You've engaged him. And guess what now? He's going to look forward to his brother. He's not going to hate his brother. Because you never told him. You just say a big, and he's wondering what is happening. You're not communicating. So you've communicated. So he's going to prepare for the brother. Do you understand me? So these are the things that we need to do. So those times are like time you are actually engaging on your family constitution or vision at that time. Communication. So it doesn't have to be, this is how we're going to do it. Things will relate to things. You go to a party, you see a badly behaved child, and your child is observing and this and that. Maybe when you drive back home, you just engage the child and say, oh, whatever, because they don't want you to be direct. You'll be indirect, okay? Unlike before, when your parents say this, that you, even the sign language.
That's it.
So we have to be knowledgeable. We have to know what is happening in the society with the children. Some people don't go on social media, but because of your children, you have to go on social media. You don't have to put your name. Find ways to be there to see and share. Do you understand me? So it's not stricto sensu a rigid way of engaging or checking and checking, tick. Did you do this today? Tick. No, that's not it. It's the practicality of it, the everyday thing of it. That is it.
Okay, you
basically.
practically answered my next question, because I was going to ask, how do we ensure that the family values and visions are attainable? You have answered that, haven't you?
Yes,
I think
have.
so. Okay, so I'm going to another area that is a worry for me.
Okay.
You read the newspapers and you hear the news reports, and you read the gossip magazines and all of them, and the rate of problem, I would just want to use that problem. I don't want to define the level of the problem. The rate of the challenges in homes, in families, compared to 10 years ago, is like 150%. What's happening? What's happening? And how do we stand this move? How do we reverse it? Because this is a family show and would like to reverse it. What must we do?
Okay. Everything, like I said, is changing. So the dynamics of the family is changing. Even our sexuality is changing in the world now. Do you understand?
Yes.
you know, the even definition of family, marriage is changing. Everything is changing. So it's not a particular thing. It's how the society has become and how we've allowed it to become. Because we've allowed.
Yes.
A lot of us have allowed. We've allowed. We believe, well, marriages don't work, so why would I try? We don't know that you have to try.
Say that again.
Marriages don't work, so why would I try?
You must work at it.
It was work. You must
You know,
work.
that's the psychology of a lot of people now.
A lot of things is psychology. Even the social media is psychology.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was watching a program with my husband, and guess what they say? The program was, everybody should watch it. Fake famous. Fake famous. What you do to become famous.
Fake it till you make it.
Until you become.
And so that is what is happening. So the family will not be left out, okay? But why are we getting married? Why do we want a family? Because some people don't want a family. Let's allow them. Let's allow them. Nothing has to be, no, if they don't want, maybe they don't want to be responsible for somebody. Allow them.
Yes.
Maybe they can thrive from a corner, love from a corner, love from a distance. Some people love from a distance. Do you understand me? So some people are bottled into a lot of things that the culture, the society has allowed. So how do we get back to this system? For those of us that have gone ahead,
Yes.
we have to then come back and say, okay, what is this? Why am I here? What do I want from this?
What works?
What will work for me?
Yeah.
And communication is still key. Okay. Do you understand me? Because we have to be able to say between two people, okay, can we work on this? Is this something we can do? It's going to be tough, but can we try to make it work? Do you understand? If we can't make it work, can we have some space? I believe in that. Can we have some space at times to just see how? Can I go for a holiday for about a month to rethink how I can manage this? Or can we go away? There's something I watched, a husband, a pastor and his wife. This was real. They had issues in their marriage. One of them, which I will not say, went haywire. And the person was caught in that. Okay? Or was able to admit that this is what happened. The person never knew in the wildest dream that this was going to happen. But because of that situation, they were actually meeting each other for the first time, talking about it. And for the first time in years, they actually danced together. So the pain, because we're also busy, we lose sight of the important things in life. Do you understand? So that pain made them connect that they've never had time together for a long time. That's why the person strayed.
And time just flies. And
time flies. So what is important to us? So yes, it will happen. Yes, there are issues. But what are we doing about it? What do we want to do about it? John, Helen, Bimbo, we can start with ourselves. We can start and say, this is what we want. It becomes a ripple effect. Because the people in your office, the people in your workspace, the people in your home, we see how Madam and Oga treat each other, how they engage themselves. Even when they fight, they still communicate.
Yes.
So once we start to do that, one family at a time, it will work. So the people around us, the people we invite to parties and everything, are people that maybe share our values. And even if they don't share values, they see what we're trying to do, and they want to emulate it. So it's a journey. It's a long journey.
I'm sorry I've been staring at you.
No, it's okay. I mean, you can stare. I'm on a journey myself.
I've been staring at you. And
so,
the reason is this.
For real.
Yeah, the reason is this. Like, if I was going to write a book, right, I'll need a template of some sort.
Yes.
I'll need, a step-by-step for family values and vision. Could you give me that step-by-step template?
Okay. First of all, you need to buy my book.
Oh.
I'll give you a copy anyway.
Thank
For
you.
the Love of Family.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
on Amazon and Latinum. Okay, because it helps. It's like a guide.
Yes.
Okay. Now the step by step. Like I said, before a family starts, lives are involved, and I will throw the question back to you. Whose lives are involved before the?
Both of us, man and wife.
Good. Now you have to understand why you are starting your life together as a couple. That is critical. That is very important. Why do you want
together?
Why are you coming together?
Yes.
What is making you come together? You know, and in doing that, the pain of the past will come up. Your childhood will come up. Your inadequacies will come up because you have to be sincere.
Yeah.
But most people don't do that. So when we lay everything on the table, because I tell my children that we have 3 girls, don't be in a hurry. Find yourself. Know who you are. Have your identity. Do you understand me?
Love yourself.
Love yourself. So once you love yourself, then you can receive love and be able to give love. Do you understand? So that you don't coexist with codepend on each other, because that's what is happening now. So if somebody doesn't feel that vacuum, you feel, oh, the person has disappointed you. No, fill your own vacuum. Nobody can fill your vacuum. So you go back to where you're coming from. So many people get into marriage because they didn't have a father to take care. Let's say females, they didn't have a father figure, so they want a man that will do this and do that. Some people want to run away from home. They can't cope. Do you understand me? So nobody can change the inadequacies that you have. You have to try to find that self and see somebody that can complement you and you complement in one way or the other. Once you do that, you speak raw in front of each other, which doesn't happen. Okay? And once you do that, then you can then say, this is the template. This is how. How many children do we want? You know? And things like that. How many children do we want? What part of the country do we want? Are you going to support my entrepreneurial skills? Yeah. Are you going to support my business? You know, are you going to be part of this? Those are the things we need to discuss. When we discuss that, then if you want to be rigid like some of us, you start to write some things down. And that is why what did I say about the people that the prenup comes in?
Yes.
That is like going to be your prenup, because we have to be intentional. This is what we agreed on. Why is a marriage contract a contract?
True.
It's actually a contract. Why are we signing in the registry? It's a contract. Wow. Why are we saying those vows? Don't go with those vows anymore. Say your own vows.
Remind yourself of your vows as often as possible.
Abimbola Shomolu.
Yes, John.
Thank you.
You see, you have touched me. You've touched my heart. And anyway, we'll come to that.
Okay.
But I want to say that if our viewers feel the same way that I feel,
yes,
then something has changed.
Thank you.
You know, from this discussion with you.
There's been an impact.
Yes, there's been an impact. There has been a lot that we have taken for granted as families,
we do.
as couples. And I want to thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Now, in 30 seconds,
yes,
could you just give us your final word on this topic?
Life will happen to us, all of us. But our support network is the most important.
Yeah.
And the first support network that God allowed into our lives is the family. I don't want to grow old and lonely. I don't want to be alone. I want to have my husband beside me. I want to have my children beside me. I want to have my grandchildren behind me. Because lonely is dark. So whatever we need to do now for the later, we just have to do it. Because family is the bedrock of the society.
And there's
everything.
And there's no time that is late to get it right.
So make your family work. It can work. Get people that you trust involved. It's not something you can do on your own. Prayers, people, professionals, family members, people that you look up to, and time to reflect that what is the essence of life.
Great. Well, Helen,
woo.
So you take us, you wrap it up.
Absolutely.
And take us to the break.
Absolutely critical for the survival of the family and the society.
Yes.
Thank you. We can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for
inviting me. Thank you.
Same time
we'll
next
invite
year.
you again.
Oh, yes.
Don't forget the book.
Oh, yes. Both of you.
Okay, thank you.
I thought
Autograph.
Oh, yes.
Stop it.
Are we still on?
So we'll take a break
Yes,
now.
we are. So moving on to
Both
the
of you.
shake off. To shake off the excess baggage, the best way that we know how on this show. It's time to join our Keep Fit instructor. After which, Pharaoh Wotomo, my friend and my sweetheart on this show, don't be jealous, will engage her guests.
You're trying to
And
snatch her from me.
As you know, Pharaoh brings on the heat,
Yes.
higher. So please make sure you join Pharaoh and her guests after the Keep Fit segment. It's Today with John and Helen. Thank you for being a part of our show today. Don't go away.
Welcome to the fitness sessions on Plus TV. Today, we'll be doing some bodyweight exercises. I want you to join us as we do this. So I'm going to be doing this with my friend Patrick. Patrick, if you're ready, join me. So let's push, okay? Guys, I want you to join us as we do this, okay? We'll go with them. We're going to warm up for like a whole minute, and after that, we'll go into the exercise proper. So for our warm up today, we just hold your hand by your waist and just kick. Just simple exercises. A kick leisurely, lazily, and then we get into the groove. That's how we'll do it. 1, yes, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's bring the knee up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because before you start or engage in any exercise at all, you try to warm up. Warm up is very important in every exercise. All right, let's bring it down. Now we're going to punch. 1, just punch. 2, 3. Let's make 20. 5, 4, go. 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's do 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. See? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, let's check it out. Let's check it out. Now remember, what we're doing are exercises that you can just wake up in the morning, take 5 or 6 minutes to do, and then get on, go all the way, just carry on with your business, okay? All right, first, we're going to be doing touchdown. I'm going to demonstrate the exercise. We do a touchdown, and we do a lateral jump, and then we go down and we do bicycle crunches, okay? We're doing these 3 exercises. We'll go 10-10 each, 10-10 each. We'll do about 3 sessions of it, and I'm sure by the time we get to the 3rd set, you'll be feeling the workout. Are we ready for this? Are we ready, Patrick? Okay, first, I want to show you, we'll start with a simple lateral jump. Just go there. 1, 2, simple jumps, there, okay? We're going to do that 10. That's the first exercise. The second one, we just go, I want double shuffle, there. Double shuffle, down. Again, down, and down. That's the second one, and then we go down, okay? We go down, stay here for me, and put your hand here slowly, and exchange, and there. All right, so you see, those 3 exercises, we're gonna do them in that order. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going for 3 sets of it. So we'll start with the first one. We're jumping first. Are we ready? Okay. We'll slide to your right. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. There. Go. 1. Double shuffle for me. 1. There. 2. There. 3. Again. 4. Push. 5. Give me 5 more. There. Go. 4. Well, 3 more. 2. Last one. There. Okay, let's bring it down. Let's go down. Right? We're going for bicycle crunches. All right, this is an exercise you can do in place of push-up. Keep that hand here. 1. First, before you start, crunch. Okay, crunch. Suck in your belly button. Hands by the ears and just go 1. All right, let's go. Change. 2. Again. 3. Go. 4. Again. 3. Last one. 4. All right. Since we're on the floor, since we finished on the floor, might as well stretch on the floor. Okay? So we're here. Bring your hand here. The other side, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good job. Let's try and sit up. Sit up. Look up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you do this, make sure you exert some strength on that hand. Don't just drop the hand. Exert some strength on it, like you want to push the floor further downward. Okay, bring it back. All right, bring your hands here. Place it right here on the floor. Get your elbow to touch the floor. All right, 1, 2, 3. See, it's a very simple exercise. I'm sure some of us will struggle with it. 8, 9, and 10. Good job. All right, let's try and put our head on our knee. Put your forehead. By holding this, put the forehead there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good job. Good job. All right. We'll repeat the same thing on the other side. Go there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good job. All right, let's bring those legs together. Put your hand here. You give me a bridge, a straight arm bridge. All right. Bring your legs here. And we go up. Straight arm bridge. Stay there for the count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Okay, guys. You know, I expect you to do this every day you wake up in the morning and go about your business. So until we come your way again, next time, take care. We'll see you again. Bye.
This morning is all about the V word. And no, it's not that V word. It's values. That word that is tossed around so freely and easily, but it isn't always lived. Nations talk about their national values, organizations stamp their core values on their website, and individuals tell you what their personal values are. But do we really understand and live by these values? YourDictionary.com says values are a person or society's beliefs and good behavior and what things are important, as well as a collection of guiding principles which one deems to be correct and desirable in life, especially regarding personal conduct. My guest today
is a value-based educator, Izehi Anugbe. Izehi is the MD of Shape a Child, the founder of Inspire Excellence, and the National Service Excellence Initiative. These are platforms that work with institutions to create value-based frameworks. As a value-based educator, Izehi believes that values are not just controlled or performed, but learned and lived continuously. She's also the author of children's book series called Captain Excellence. The books focus on triggering a value-based consciousness in children and adolescents. Welcome, Izehi.
Thank you.
It is really awesome to have you here with me today.
Thank you, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. I didn't know there was such a thing as a value-based educator.
Well,
You know, so that is, we need more people like you to be doing this type of profession. So thank you so much. And I'm going to start with my first question. What are values to you?
Oh.
And does everyone have the same set of values?
wow. Okay. We will define values from an ethical point of view.
Okay.
Now, we will say values are the degree of importance we place on a thing with the aim of determining the standards of behavior and actions that we take on a daily basis or to determine the best way to live.
Right.
Yes.
And does everybody have the same set of values?
No.
Okay.
No. So what we have is we would probably say that we have collective values. Apart from personal values, you have collective values, and those are the values that will guide people within a system, a structure, like a family unit, an office, an organization. So yes, we have collective values aside from our personal and individual values.
Can you give me a few examples of collective values and personal values?
Okay, so as Nigerians, we should have what we would call our national values.
Okay.
A family should have their values. An organization should also have their values. So those are collective values. Now, as an individual, I should also have my own values that guide my decisions on a day-to-day basis.
What are your values?
Personally,
Yes.
love,
Okay.
freedom, liberty, service, and patriotism.
How easy was you reeled that off so easily? Did it take time for you to decide what your value? Did you
Yes.
choose those values and begin
Yes.
to live them?
Yes, yes.
But were there things that helped you get to that point of choosing what the values were?
Absolutely. Okay, so I would say we've gotten to the point in our society where we have to start to define what our values are.
Okay.
And I start to talk to people. When I speak with people, I always say to them, ensure that you set your values based on goals.
Right.
Yes.
Values based on goals.
Yes, it's usually easier, and it helps you determine what values are critical or important for that time and season in your life to ensure you maximize, that season, you thrive and you excel within that season. So I'll give you an example. Within a family unit, the family will have what their values are.
As a family.
Yes. Okay. But for the children, they have academic goals. So you have to set values around attaining success in their academics. So diligence, focus.
So diligence is a value.
It is a value.
Focus is a value.
It is a value.
Wow.
Because remember, we defined it as the degree of importance you place on a thing to determine your standards of behavior.
Okay.
So when diligence is your value, you now define the ethical standards that will support diligence.
When you say ethical standards, what do you mean?
Okay. Ethical standards, what are they? Moral standards of our behaviors, right?
Moral codes of conduct.
Yes, our code of conduct, yes. So I say, for my child to attain academic excellence, he has to be diligent. You now define ethical standards to support diligence. So you see, every time we're giving homework, we do our homework no later than 5 hours before delivery. We do it with precision, We are focused when we do it. We, you know, so
We're
you
not
start
distracted.
Absolutely. We wake up 10 hours before time if we're going to deliver at a certain time. So you have to set, you know, ethical standards to support the value of diligence.
So it's all very, very deliberate.
You have to be very deliberate.
So if we were going to look at it from the perspective of, one, our nation, Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then within our nation, Nigeria, we now have organizations that feed into the nation.
Yeah.
Within those organizations, we now have families that make up these organizations and feed into the nation.
Yes.
Within the families, you have individuals. So can we maybe even start from Nigeria? If we were going to define Nigeria's values, and mind you, whenever I think of Nigeria's values, I think of the national anthem and the pledge. So if we're going to define Nigerians' values, what would it be?
I guess we should sing the anthem, or we should say the pledge, recite the pledge.
I don't remember the anthem. Do you remember the anthem word for word?
I do remember them. All right, so I'm going to try. If I miss the lines, it's not
No
because I don't
problem.
know them. Okay, so I'll say the pledge. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful,
loyal, and
so
honest.
faithfulness is a value.
Faithfulness is a value.
Loyalty is a value.
is a value.
To serve, service is a value.
Okay.
Nigeria with heart and might, love is a value.
Right. So
To defend her
faithfulness-
unity is a value. Uphold her honor and glory is a value. Glory is a value. So help me God.
Wow.
So you take those ones out and then you have, what, 5, 6 values. First of all, take our anthem, pick out certain values. Then, so you put that, so that is, you know, the core. That's what every Nigerian should embody, right? Then you now say to yourself, as Nigerians, what do we want to achieve within the next 20, 50, 60 years? Because
The goals.
now we've now set ourselves that, you know, honor, love, service,
honor, yes,
faith, unity.
yes.
Those are the core of what a Nigerian should be. So as this group of people with this, driven by this set of values, we've defined the ethical standards to support service. So if we're defining the ethical standards to support service, we're going to say to ourselves that in every community, we do not ignore the things that don't concern us.
I see.
Yes.
Unity.
Unity.
Be your brother's keeper.
Wherever we go, we are going to appoint the best people for the job and not the people that we know.
I see.
You know, things like that.
Yes.
So you start to define them, you know, by line, and it's not an individual effort, it's actually a collective effort. So you're going to have people you consider custodians of those values that will come together and then now start to, you know, break down the nitty-gritty of the definition, the ethical standards that will support those values.
Wow.
Yes.
And then when you then take this into organizations, organizations talk about their core values. And the members of that organization are supposed to live by those core values.
Yes, for their organization.
For their organization.
Absolutely, yes.
But in an ideal world, it should feed into the nation's values?
Yes, well, generally, like if you look at Japan, I don't know if you've researched a lot about Japan. You go to Japan and there's a behavior that they all have.
Yes, very true.
I think the first guest, someone said, you see someone from a particular company and you know that, you know, they come from that.
Yes, yes, that's their
company.
value, yes.
Yes, because it's already imbibed in them through the society, you know, it has become part of their culture. So those things, the national values are inherent in them. Now, when you now go to individual organizations, you see elements of those core values, right, in the individual. But they will have their organization's core values because, again, values should be driven by goals.
Yes, you said.
Yes. So you're trying to achieve certain goals, and now those goals will require certain values and certain ethical standards to support those goals.
Okay, so now, to one of the key questions I had, what has changed? Because the world we live in today, it's almost like we don't have values. So let me even backtrack. Is there such a thing as bad values?
I usually don't like the word bad.
Okay.
I like the word beneficial and non-beneficial.
Okay.
Because again, it's about aligning everything with a goal. There must be a purpose for everything that you do. You just don't do things because it's ideal, good or bad. What is really good, you know, or bad? Is it beneficial? Because what I consider bad, you might consider good. What you consider good, I might consider bad.
Very true.
So it's about it being beneficial and focus on a certain outcome.
Right.
So,
Beneficial and focused.
yes, beneficial. What's the benefit to the individual? Because, you know, they're not good or bad values. They're just values that serve people's purpose per time.
I see. So do they
Yes.
change?
Of course, of course. We can't have the same. For some people, so that's why values are grouped. They are grouped per time, per season, per goal. And certain ones remain fixed. The national values, you know,
They ideally should remain
yes,
fixed.
it should remain fixed. Family values, those values are quite fixed. In our family, we are loyal. So you find a family where you have children and the parents, and everybody there is loyal because they've inculcated that value of loyal. It has become part of their culture, and it will take a lot to, you know, cause them to waver, you know, from loyalty. So when we're talking about what were we talking about again?
We're talking about
good or bad values. So they're just beneficial or not beneficial values. That's just all we have. Beneficial or not beneficial.
And you know, when you were talking about the family values, I remember when adults would normally say, especially when their child is going abroad to study, don't forget whose child you are. My father used to say that to us a lot. My mother used to say that to us a lot. And interestingly, the values that you're referencing in families, you can usually see within a family.
Absolutely.
That they have very similar values.
Absolutely.
But the world has changed.
Absolutely.
We're in the technology age. There is an element of fast money and quick money. You know, people behave differently. Younger children or the younger generations are more fearless. What has changed? How can we align today's values with the world we live in, or rather, the past values, today's values, and the world we live in today?
What has changed? I think I'll first of all answer that. Access to information is coming, you know, at speed of light. There's more access to information, and the world has become a small village now. You're not, everything is in your face, you know everything, you know, and all that. And the unfortunate thing is that the Western world, where we are with regards to our development, is not quite the same as where the Western world actually is.
I see.
So there's been a miscommunication between one generation, a gap, and the next generation, and we cannot remove the socioeconomic or sociopolitical factors, right? And now there's the need for us to create a framework.
Right.
A proper framework to embed or key individuals into, so that we're clear about the values that are beneficial to the 21st century child.
I see. So that framework, is it a national framework or a family-based framework?
So because, again, we have different groups of values. There should be a national one, there should be a family one, there should be one for education, there should be a framework for every value so that, you know, children from early years are well keyed into a structured set of values that are relevant for the 21st century, because there are some skills and values or some ethical standards and behaviors that are not ideal for the 21st century. So we have to make sure that we create a framework and that we are more deliberate.
What is a framework?
Okay, it's a structure. What is a structure? Okay, let's look at an engineering building, right? Okay. So I can only think of a crane, and then you now start to lay a framework. What are our values? You define the values, define the ethical standards that support the values, define the custodians of the values, define the method that it's going to be executed. Well, then you now define the ethical standards that will support the values.
I want to simplify this.
Yes.
A family of 4.
Okay.
Mother, father, in fact, a family of 5. Mother, father, 3 children, 1 nanny, 1 driver. So a family of 7. How do you design a framework for that family?
That will be telling you the trick of my trade.
Because a lot of our listeners need to be able to connect this to their nuclear family.
Yes.
Because if we're saying the nuclear family has to align in reality with the nation's values, where do we even start from?
with national values, like I said.
With the nuclear, if we're starting with the nuclear family,
Yes.
what do we even do as individuals within that family? How easy is it? Especially if it's a family where maybe mommy and daddy had their kids very late and their set of values are completely different.
Yeah.
Where do they even begin to build this framework?
Okay, so I think I will just say a bit, about that. You first of all decide what you want to add, what in this season, in 21st century, which is our reality. We need to start becoming a bit more deliberate and clear about what we are trying to do and why we are trying to do those things. We just don't set values. I want you to be honest. I want you to be kind. Why? There's always a why, because the why will drive the how.
Right.
It will drive the importance of why you are doing that thing. So it will also drive the how, the who, the when, the what. So it's important that we focus on asking the question, why are we setting these values? Are we trying to look good for people? Or are we actually trying to achieve something? Are we trying to create the very best children, the most productive children? What do we want? What do we want? A good name is still better than riches any day, regardless of the season, the time, the generation. Now, that is our family values, integrity. We're going to keep that aside. Why do you want to have integrity? Because we're going to raise leaders for the society. What qualities will a leader have? So I continue to go back to, why are you defining your values? Why are you choosing those values? What are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to accomplish? They say, when you do not know the use of a thing, abuse is inevitable.
I see.
So if you do not know why you're setting values, you're going to be all over the place. It's going to be, okay, just be good. You think that it is the responsibility of the church. Then you blame the society. And while all of these things definitely will influence or speak to the core, the first institution, which is the family still has the major role, in creating that framework. So from the family unit, you're coming together, you ask, why are we doing what we are doing? What type of children do we want to raise? Why do we want to raise them? What is the goal for their academic journey?
Yes.
For how long? What values are we going to set to ensure that they are aligned? With our staff, I call the driver and the nanny, I call them collaborators.
Yes.
They are
Yes.
collaborators. How do we key them into this framework? Why? And that means that there's also that level of commitment that you have to ensure that whomsoever you're bringing into your home is aligned with those values. And they understand your own ethical standards that support those values. Because if I define honesty for you and you define honesty for me, you'll find that the lines are blurred, yet they are separated.
True.
But in your eyes, they're really clear or they're really blurred. From my own point of view, they could be really clear and also really blurred. So there's that need to, first of all, set a goal.
You have to first set a goal.
Yes. Set your family goals.
Set your family goals.
Yes. Don't set your values without your goals.
Don't set your values without your goals.
Yes. So make sure you have goals. Make sure you know why you're setting those values. Understand the time and season that is upon us, the reality and the time of the time and season upon us. You have to be adaptable. You must be adaptable. You have to factor in the fact that you are not growing up. 2000, this is 2020,
2021.
2021. The 2021 child is not growing up in 1965. His reality is different.
His reality is different.
So, we say, when I was young, is eye. We used to talk. No, you don't use eye. I'm going to ask you, Mommy, why is your eye twitching?
Very true.
Embarrass you. Like, really, when I was growing up, you couldn't go and eat plantain in anybody's house. When you go out, you stay there. When we get home, we eat. But, a slap would correct you. But now you slap a child, hey, you've abused that child. You understand what I mean? So you have to be abreast with the reality of today and start to now set values. We need to be adaptable, adapt to the reality. Change is constant, and there's nothing wrong or there's nothing to be afraid of when change is coming upon us. We now need to ask ourselves, how do we become responsible custodians of those values? What do we now need to do? We can't afford to discuss values from the casual run of the mill, because we are raising leaders and we are raising followers, we are raising citizens, we are raising nations every time we come together as a family. These are the people who are going to churn out and put into the society, and they will become our leaders, our representative globally. So we need to be a bit more deliberate and realize that it's now time for us to adapt and create that framework where values-based education and living and lifestyle will be embedded into from the curriculum, from our anthem, from everything that we do. We now have to be a bit really deliberate at creating that framework based on goals.
That has been a lot in a short timeline. And if I was going to summarize it, my biggest takeaway, everything has been my takeaway, but my biggest takeaway would be, number one, you have to define what your goals are.
Absolutely.
And your goals have to then help you define what your values are.
Values that will be important, your first 5 or 10 key values.
And then you have to understand the why.
Yes.
You have to have the ethical code of conduct.
Yes.
You have
the
to design
ethical
a
standards
framework.
to support.
The
now,
ethical standards
all of the
to
things we are
support.
talking about, you're already developing a framework.
Right.
That is the framework.
That is the framework. So every family needs to go back and redefine what their framework is.
Yes.
That's the only way to move forward.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here with us
Thank
today.
you for having me.
It has been it has been quite intense and extremely valuable.
Thank you.
Because we're at a crossroads as a nation right now.
Yeah.
And this is time for us to go back as individuals and look at what our values are.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So in a few minutes, John, Helen, and myself will be wrapping up the show. And I can't wait for the wrap up because this has been a really, really intense, extremely useful, extremely thought-provoking few minutes. So please stay with us for a few more minutes whilst we wrap up the show. Thank you.
you have been an awesome partner on this business journey this morning. The show is called Today with John and Helen, and on behalf of Pharaoh and John, I'd like to say thank you. We have thoroughly enjoyed today's show. We have been impacted, and we believe that you have been, as we looked at the vision and the values for the family, the whys, the hows, and all of it. I took something away, big one. You know, when she talked about action, your
She
guest.
being Izehi.
Yes, your last guest, yes, your guest. And she talked about values are meant to be lived daily through the actions, you know, through the things that we do. They are not a set of rules written down somewhere and hung. They are meant to be lived. We need to see them, you know, put to practice.
You know, it's always so obvious when you enjoy a discussion. Then you try to eat into my nuggets.
I went
Yeah?
further than enjoyment.
You try to eat into my nuggets time.
Okay, so then let's have your nuggets.
So we'll have our nuggets now for the week. Our nugget today is our message adds up to 10% of what we say, 40% our tone and speed, and 50% of body language. So, in totality, our message is made up of 3 component parts, important component parts. And believe it or not, it's not just what you say. You have 10%, just 10% of what you actually say, right, is what is received by the audience. 40% of your tone and speed, so how you say it, accounts for 40% of what you're communicating.
Efficiency.
And of course, 50% of your body language. So if you're saying, good morning, Pharaoh, and it's like your face is drab and whatever,
There's nothing good about the
she
money.
receives, there's nothing good about the money. So that's my nugget for today. Pharaoh, what do you have to say about it?
Your nugget, as always, is extremely apt.
Thank you.
Always very,
I
very apt.
was waiting for that. Thank you, Pharaoh.
So how, very
oh,
quickly,
it's such a
where are we
darling.
going next week?
Next week, we're talking about gender parity because, and I think that came up from as a result of, we've had a lot more women guests on the show than we have had men.
Yes.
And I don't know why that is.
Now, how come more women are interested, you know, in lifting and building the family?
Well, I don't know if that's
That's
correct.
an assumption. that's
where we're going
that's,
next
that's
week.
an assumption.
Yes,
I'm
based
not
on
gonna
the fact
agree
that
with
we've
that.
had more female resource persons.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean
on the
they're
show.
more interested. It just means that that's just the way it is. Sometimes it works out that way.
It could.
So,
We'll find out next week.
ladies,
Gender
talking about
parity.
gender parity,
Yes.
Okay.
we'll see our audience, our viewers,
Ladies first.
next week.
Yes.
And I want to thank you all
Thank
for
you.
being such great sport.
Thank you so much.
So
for
see you
being
all
with us.
again next week.
Bye for now.